Alright guys, so today our first topic of measurement is all to do with converting metric lengths. And this is a really important topic because this is basically going to let you find the size of shapes, and it's going to let you find areas of shapes by converting metric lengths into the same unit of measurement, okay? So this is all about lengths, all right? And it's important to remember that when we're doing measurement, sometimes we measure length, which is what we're doing today. Sometimes we measure liquid, and sometimes we measure volume as well. So sometimes there's all different sorts of measurements that we can do within measurement, okay? And this is one of them. This is actually the hardest conversion to remember because the units change from each unit type, okay? Or the amount that you have to multiply or divide change between each individual unit. However, once we get on to the other ones like milliliters to liters and those sort of things, it goes up by the same amount every single time. So this is the only one that you need to remember. Now this chart here that helps you, this is actually something that you need to remember off by heart. So this is something that as you go throughout this unit, you need to be able to copy that out, and you need to remember, when I go to millimeters to centimeters, I need to divide by 10. When I go from centimeters to meters, I need to divide by 100. So this is something that you're going to have to rote learn, okay? So I would start writing this down every opportunity that you get so that you can remember exactly what it is, okay? So let's start off with some measurements. So let's just say I've got 32 centimeters. And now when you're doing these questions in your textbook, basically how they're going to look for a lot of the time is it'll give you a measurement, and then in brackets, it's going to tell you what to convert this to. So let's just say this question wants you to convert it to millimeters. It wants you to take 32 centimeters to whatever that's going to be in millimeters. So we come over here to our chart and we go, okay, we're going from centimeters to millimeters. So from centimeters to millimeters, I need to multiply by 10, okay? Now it's all about shifting the decimal point. So if I've got 32, let's take away the unit for the moment. If I've got 32, at the moment my decimal point is sitting here after the 2, okay? And all I need to do, when I multiply by a power of 10, I shift the decimal point to the right by however many zeros there are in that question. So in this instance, there is 1 zero. So that means I'm going to shift the decimal point once to the right. So this question, 32 centimeters into millimeters, is going to be 320 millimeters, okay? Let's do another one, except this time, let's go the other way. So let's go from centimeters to meters, okay? So let's just say I've got, let's say 426 centimeters, and I want to convert that to meters, okay? Here it says I need to divide by 100. So once again, I would look at this and I would say, okay, well the decimal point is sitting right here after the 6. When I divide, I do the opposite to what I did to times. In times, I shifted the decimal point to the right because I was multiplying. With division, we've got to shift it to the left, okay? So here, I'm going to shift this to the left by however many zeros there are, and there's 1, 2 zeros. So I'm going to shift it 1, 2 times, and it's going to end up here. So that means that my answer is going to be 4.26 meters, okay? So it is pretty straightforward. Now, sometimes you can shift multiple units. So let's just say if we're going from kilometers to centimeters, okay? So here we go. We've got, let's say I've got 0.46 kilometers, okay? And I want to go to centimeters, all right? I'm going to centimeters. We need to count how many zeros there are in between this point here, okay, and this point here. So everything in here, how many zeros are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what that's going to mean is we're going to have to shift our decimal point 5 times, okay? Because it's multiplication, we move our decimal point to the right, okay? So when we times, we go right, all right? And when we divide, we go left, all right? So here we go, we're going to shift it 5 times. Now you'll notice that there's only 2 digits in my actual original question. So that means I'm going to have to add digits on. Okay, so I'm just going to write it out without that unit there because it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to see. Okay, and now I'm going to shift that 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now hang on, Mr. Wheel. We're in a position here, or a situation, where there's nothing here. All we do is we just add in zeros, okay, and then that's where my decimal point will go. So, 0.46 kilometres equals 46,000 centimetres, okay? And the same applies for going back the other way. Let's just say that I've got, we'll make it a big number this time. So let's just say I've got 12,443 centimetres. And I want to convert that into kilometres. Okay, I want to convert that to kilometres. So once again, I look at all the zeros in between centimetres and kilometres. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. At the moment, the decimal point is sitting here after the 3. Now, when we divide, we have to shift our decimal point to the left. Okay. So that means I've got to go back this way. My decimal point's going to go back this way. And I have to shift 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's where my new decimal point goes, and I put my 0 in there. So my answer for that is 0.124443 kilometres. Okay, so that's converting metric lengths. Just to summarise, you look at the chart. You've got to remember this one off by heart. That's the big takeaway from this lesson. Remember this off by heart. If we're going from centimetres to millimetres, often in your textbook and in questions, it will put what unit you need to convert to, okay, in brackets next to the question. So here, I need to go from centimetres to millimetres. So I look centimetres to millimetres. I follow my arrow and it says times 10. So in that instance, because we're shifting the decimal place and we're doing multiplication, I go right. If I was doing centimetres to kilometres, it's division, so I would go left. And you shift it the amount of zeros there are in between the units, okay, that you're converting to. That's converting metric lengths. Good luck.